Life is always speaking to us. Every challenge, every delay, and every closed door is not a rejection, it's a redirection. When something incredible is about to enter your life, the universe whispers, and if you are listening, you will see the signs. What you are seeking is also seeking you. And when God is preparing to bless you in ways beyond your imagination, there will be clear signs. If you open your heart and trust the process. Today, let's talk about the signals that appear when divine abundance is on its way. Life is always moving, always changing, always guiding us towards something greater. But sometimes the shifts happen so suddenly that they leave us wondering what is really going on. One day, everything seems stable, familiar, and predictable, and then, almost overnight, it feels like the ground beneath you is shifting. People you thought would always be there start to fade away. Situations that once felt secure begin to fall apart. Plans you were certain of suddenly become uncertain. It may seem as if everything is unraveling, but what if, instead, everything is aligning? When God is about to give you something big, He doesn't do it quietly. He moves things. He rearranges your life in ways that may not always make sense in the moment. Sometimes what looks like destruction is actually construction. What feels like loss is actually preparation for something greater. When everything around you starts changing rapidly, unexpectedly, and sometimes painfully, it is often a sign that something extraordinary is on its way. These sudden shifts can be unsettling, especially when you don't understand why they are happening. You may feel like you're losing control, like life is pulling you in a direction you didn't choose. But trust this. The universe never removes something from your life without preparing to replace it with something better. It is only when we resist the changes that we struggle. If you can surrender and trust the process, you will begin to see that every shift is happening for you, not to you. When people leave your life without explanation, it can be painful. But what if they were never meant to stay? What if their departure is making space for someone more aligned with your journey? Not everyone can walk with you into the next chapter of your life. Some people were only meant to be part of your story for a season, not a lifetime. And when God is preparing you for something greater, He will gently, or sometimes forcefully, remove those who no longer fit where you are going. It's not rejection, it's redirection. When doors start closing, it's easy to feel discouraged. You may have had your heart set on a certain opportunity, a certain path, a certain plan, but if that door is closing, it is because there is something better ahead. If you can shift your perspective, you will begin to see that rejection is often divine protection. What you think you lost was never truly meant for you, and what is meant for you will find its way to you in ways you never expected. Sometimes these sudden shifts come in the form of unexpected challenges. You might lose a job, face financial struggles, or encounter obstacles that seem unfair. But understand this, God never removes something without preparing to replace it with something greater. Every challenge is a test of faith. Will you trust the process, even when it doesn't make sense? Will you believe that something greater is on the way, even when you can't yet see it? It is in these moments of uncertainty that your faith is strengthened. When you stop trying to force things to stay the same and instead open yourself to what's unfolding, you will begin to see the beauty in the shift. What once felt like a breakdown will reveal itself as a breakthrough. What once felt like an ending will prove to be a new beginning. The key is to trust. Trust that if something is leaving, it is because it no longer serves you. Trust that if a door is closing, it is because there is a better one waiting to open. Trust that every change, every shift, every moment of uncertainty is part of a divine plan that is working in your favor. Your job is not to resist the change, but to embrace it. Your job is to surrender the need to control and allow life to unfold as it is meant to. Instead of focusing on what is falling away, focus on what is being built. Instead of grieving what is lost, get excited about what is coming, because something is coming, something bigger, something better, something beyond what you could have imagined. And when it arrives, you will look back and realize that every shift, every change, and every moment of uncertainty was leading you right to it. So when life starts shifting suddenly, don't panic, don't resist, don't fight to hold on to what is trying to leave. Instead, open your heart, open your hands and say, I trust, I release, I welcome the new. Because what is ahead of you is far greater than anything you are leaving behind. Life has a way of making us wait. There are times when we knock on doors, pray for opportunities, and do everything in our power to move forward, only to be met with silence. The rejection, the delays, the feeling of being stuck. It can all be so discouraging. You wonder if you're doing something wrong, if you're missing a step, if maybe what you desire just isn't meant for you. But then something shifts. Out of nowhere, doors begin to open. The opportunities that once seemed impossible suddenly appear. The people you need to meet start showing up. The things you struggle to make happen begin to fall into place effortlessly. What once felt like a dead end now reveals itself as a pathway forward. And that is how divine timing works. When God is about to give you something big, He doesn't just open any door. He opens the right door. And when it happens, it won't require force. You won't have to beg, plead, or struggle to make it work. It will flow naturally because it is aligned with your purpose. So often, we get frustrated when a door remains closed. We push against it, trying to force it open, believing that if we just try harder, it will finally give way. But what we fail to realize is that closed doors are often blessings in disguise. Sometimes they are protecting us from something that isn't meant for us. Other times, they are simply redirecting us towards something far greater than we could have imagined. Have you ever looked back on a time when you desperately wanted something, only to later realize that not getting it was the best thing that could have happened to you? Maybe it was a relationship that ended, a job that didn't hire you, or a dream that seemed to slip away. At the time, it felt like a loss, but now you see that it was actually a gift. Because if that door had opened, you wouldn't have ended up where you are now. When doors start opening, it is a sign that you have entered a new season. It means that everything you have been working toward, praying for, and believing in is finally aligning. But it's important to recognize these moments and act on them. An open door does nothing if you are too afraid to walk through it. Sometimes when opportunities finally present themselves, we hesitate. We doubt ourselves. We wonder if we are truly ready. Fear creeps in and tries to convince us to stay where it's safe. But the truth is, you wouldn't be given the opportunity if you weren't ready for it. The universe does not make mistakes. What is meant for you will always find its way to you, but you must have the courage to step into it. There will be moments when you feel completely unqualified for the blessings coming your way, the new job, the new relationship, the unexpected opportunity. It may feel too big for you, but remember this, God does not call the qualified, He qualifies the called. If a door has opened for you, it is because you are meant to walk through it. You do not have to be perfect. You do not have to have everything figured out. You just have to trust that you are exactly where you need to be. And sometimes doors open in ways you never expected. You might be focused on one path, thinking that's the only way forward, but then an opportunity appears from an entirely different direction. It may not look like what you had envisioned, but if it keeps showing up in your life, pay attention. Sometimes the biggest blessings come disguised as detours. The key to recognizing open doors is to stay present and trust your intuition. When something feels aligned, when it energizes you, when everything seems to fall into place effortlessly, that is a sign. The universe speaks through ease, through synchronicity, through the feeling of rightness in your soul. Listen to it. So, if you are in a season where doors are beginning to open, step forward with confidence. Say yes to new opportunities. Trust that you are ready. And most importantly, express gratitude. Because every open door is not just an opportunity, it is proof that you are exactly where you are meant to be. The doors that once remained shut are now swinging wide open. Walk through them with faith, knowing that everything you have been waiting for is finally here. There comes a moment in life when something deep inside of you starts to stir. It's not loud or forceful, but rather a quiet, persistent knowing, a feeling that whispers to you in the stillness of the night, a pull that keeps nudging you, telling you that you are meant for something more. You may not be able to explain it, but you can feel it, a strong inner calling that refuses to be ignored. At first, it may come as a sense of restlessness. The things that once satisfied you no longer feel fulfilling. The routine you used to find comfort in begins to feel limiting. You start to question if you are truly living the life you were meant to live. This is the beginning of something powerful. It is the awakening of your true purpose. When you feel this calling, it may not always make sense. You may not have a clear vision of where you are going or what exactly you are supposed to do, but you will feel a deep knowing that you are meant to change, to grow, to step into something greater. This is the divine speaking to you, guiding you toward the path you were always meant to walk. The challenge is that this calling often asks you to step into the unknown. It requires you to let go of the familiar, to trust in something bigger than yourself, and to take a leap of faith even when you cannot see the whole path ahead. And that can feel terrifying. But what you must understand is that when you follow this calling, you are not walking alone. The universe, God, divine energy, whatever you choose to call it, is always with you, supporting you every step of the way. One of the most powerful signs that you are being called to something greater is that you start to feel disconnected from your old way of living. The conversations you once enjoyed may no longer resonate. The places that used to bring you joy might start to feel empty. The people around you may not understand why you are changing, and that's okay. Your journey is unique, and not everyone is meant to walk it with you. As this inner calling grows stronger, life will begin to shift around you. You may start noticing synchronicities, signs that seem too perfect to be coincidences. Maybe you keep seeing the same message over and over again, or you meet someone who speaks exactly the words you needed to hear. These are not accidents. They are confirmations. The universe is guiding you, showing you that you are on the right path. But this path is not always easy. Answering your calling often requires sacrifice. It may mean letting go of old habits, old fears, and even old relationships that no longer align with where you are going. It may mean stepping into uncertainty and embracing the discomfort of growth. But know this, anything that falls away is making space for something greater. You are not losing, you are evolving. Doubt may try to creep in. You may question whether you are capable, whether you are worthy, whether you are truly meant for this path. But let me remind you, if you were not meant for it, you would not feel this calling so deeply. The very fact that you feel it means that you are ready, even if your mind tries to convince you otherwise. The key is to trust. Trust that this calling was placed within you for a reason. Trust that you have everything you need within you to step forward. Trust that even when the way is unclear, the next step will always reveal itself at the right time. And above all, take action. Your calling is not meant to remain just a feeling inside of you. It is meant to be lived, expressed, and shared with the world. Even if you don't have all the answers, start where you are. Take small steps. Move forward with faith, and the path will unfold before you. One day you will look back and realize that everything, every challenge, every delay, every loss was leading you to this moment. You will see that all the times you felt uncertain, all the moments you questioned yourself, were actually part of your preparation. And you will understand that this calling was never random. It was always meant for you. So listen to it, honor it, follow it, because when you do, you will step into the life that was always waiting for you. Life has a way of testing you when you least expect it. Just when you think things are finally falling into place, a storm appears out of nowhere. A plan falls apart, a door closes, a setback shakes your confidence. It feels unfair, frustrating, even overwhelming. But what if these challenges are not meant to break you, but to prepare you? Every great transformation comes with unexpected obstacles. They show up to test your strength, your faith, and your commitment to the path you are on. When you set out to create something new in your life, whether it's a dream, a relationship, a goal, or a new way of thinking, challenges will arise. Not because you are on the wrong path, but because you are being refined, strengthened, and made ready for the very thing you are asking for. Think about it. If everything were easy, you wouldn't grow. If every door opened without effort, you wouldn't develop the resilience to keep going when things get tough. The truth is, life doesn't give you what you want. It gives you what you are prepared to handle. And sometimes that preparation looks like struggle, like delays, like situations that push you to your limit. The moments that challenge you the most are often the moments that shape you the most. They force you to dig deep, to discover strength within yourself that you didn't even know existed. They teach you patience, humility, and the power of perseverance. When these challenges come, your first instinct might be to resist them, to ask, why is this happening to me? Or what did I do wrong? But what if, instead of seeing these moments as roadblocks, you saw them as stepping stones? What if you shifted your mindset from this is unfair to this is preparing me for something greater? Sometimes challenges come as a way to redirect you. Maybe the job you wanted didn't work out because something better is waiting for you. Maybe the relationship that ended was clearing the way for a love that is more aligned with your soul. Maybe the delay you are experiencing is not a punishment but divine protection, keeping you from moving too soon before everything is ready for you. Other times, challenges appear to teach you valuable lessons. They push you to become more patient, more disciplined, more trusting of the process. They help you let go of control and surrender to a greater plan. They remind you that you are stronger than you think. One of the greatest truths in life is this: the bigger your purpose, the bigger your challenges. The greater the vision, the greater the tests. This is not to discourage you, but to remind you that the very obstacles in your way are the signs that you are on the right path. If you are facing challenges right now, know that they are not here to defeat you. They are here to reveal who you really are. They are here to push you past your fears, past your doubts, past the limits you have placed on yourself. So when the unexpected happens, when things don't go as planned, when disappointments arise, when you feel like giving up, pause and take a breath. Instead of seeing these moments as setbacks, see them as opportunities. Ask yourself, what is this moment trying to teach me? How is this experience strengthening me? What new doors could this challenge be opening? And most importantly, keep going. The people who succeed in life are not the ones who never face challenges, but the ones who refuse to let those challenges stop them. They are the ones who choose to rise even when they feel like falling. They are the ones who believe even when everything around them seems uncertain. You are being tested because you are ready for more. The fact that you are experiencing obstacles means you are in the process of becoming someone stronger, wiser, and more resilient. This season of challenges is not the end of your journey. It is the preparation for your breakthrough. So trust the process. Trust that nothing is happening by accident. Trust that even in your hardest moments, there is a lesson, a purpose, and a hidden blessing. One day you will look back and realize that every challenge you faced was actually leading you to exactly where you were meant to be. There will come a time in your journey when, despite everything you've been through, the struggles, the setbacks, the doubts, you will pause, take a deep breath, and feel a profound sense of gratitude. It won't be because your life is perfect or because every problem has disappeared. No, this feeling will arise from something deeper. It will come from an inner knowing that everything, even the hardships, has led you exactly where you need to be. This is the kind of gratitude that doesn't depend on external circumstances. It's not about waiting for everything to be just right before you allow yourself to feel peace. Instead, it's about recognizing that even in the midst of uncertainty, you are growing. Even in the presence of challenges, you are being guided. Even when things seem unclear, there is a force greater than you working behind the scenes, aligning everything for your highest good. At first, these moments may come unexpectedly. You might be sitting quietly, reflecting on how far you've come, and suddenly feel overwhelmed by appreciation. You might find yourself looking at the people in your life, those who have stood by you, those who have loved you, and feel a deep sense of warmth in your heart. You might wake up one morning, step outside, and realize how beautiful the world is, how precious this life truly is. These moments of gratitude and peace are signs that you are aligning with your highest self. They are reminders that, despite everything, you are okay, that you are being taken care of, that you are exactly where you are meant to be. There was a time when you questioned whether things would ever change, when you felt lost, when you doubted yourself, when you wondered if you would ever find your way. And yet, here you are, stronger, wiser, more at peace. No, life hasn't been perfect, but it has been meaningful. Every experience, every detour, every lesson has shaped you into the person you are today. And that alone is something to be grateful for. Gratitude is not just about saying thank you for the good times. It is about embracing every part of your journey, the highs and the lows, the joys and the sorrows, the successes and the failures. It is about recognizing that even your most difficult moments had a purpose. They taught you resilience. They deepened your understanding. They brought you closer to your truth. And with this gratitude comes peace. Not the kind of peace that comes from avoiding challenges, but the kind that comes from knowing that no matter what happens, you will be okay, that you have the strength to face whatever comes your way, that you are supported even in ways you cannot see. True peace comes from surrender. It comes from letting go of the need to control everything, and trusting that life is unfolding exactly as it should. It comes from releasing the past, forgiving yourself and others, and choosing to focus on the beauty of the present moment. You don't need to wait for something extraordinary to happen to feel this gratitude. You can choose to cultivate it right now. Look around you at the simple everyday blessings that so often go unnoticed. The breath in your lungs, the sun rising each morning, the people who care about you, the lessons you've learned, the opportunities that are still ahead. When you shift your focus to gratitude, something miraculous happens. You begin to see life differently. Instead of dwelling on what's missing, you appreciate what's already here. Instead of worrying about the future, you trust in the present. Instead of carrying the weight of the past, you free yourself to embrace the new. And in this state of gratitude, more blessings flow into your life, because when you acknowledge and appreciate what you already have, you open the door for even greater abundance. Life responds to gratitude with more things to be grateful for. So take a moment to breathe it in, to appreciate the journey, to trust that even when things seem uncertain, you are being guided towards something beautiful. These moments of deep gratitude and peace are not fleeting. They are glimpses of the truth. They remind you that happiness is not something to be chased. It is something to be felt here and now. One day you will look back on your life and realize that every moment, every experience, every challenge was part of a divine plan. You will see how everything connected, how every closed door led to something better, how every hardship made you stronger. And in that moment, you will smile, feeling nothing but gratitude for the journey that brought you home to yourself. There will come a moment in your life when you realize that holding on to the past is no longer serving you. The pain, the regrets, the what-ifs, these things have weighed you down for too long. And though the past has shaped you, it is not meant to define you. Life is calling you forward. But to step into your next chapter, you must be willing to let go of what no longer belongs to you. At first, this realization may feel uncomfortable. The past, no matter how painful, can feel familiar. You may have replayed certain moments in your mind over and over again, wondering how things could have been different. Maybe you've carried the weight of old relationships, disappointments, or mistakes, believing that if you hold on long enough, you might somehow change what happened. But you cannot move forward while still looking back. You cannot embrace the new if your hands are full of the old. Life is always evolving, always offering new opportunities, new experiences, new beginnings. But to receive them, you must create space. You must be willing to release what no longer serves you. Letting go does not mean forgetting. It does not mean that what happened wasn't real or that your feelings weren't valid. It simply means that you are choosing peace over pain. You are choosing to no longer allow the past to control your present. You are choosing to step into a future that is free from the burdens you have carried for far too long. You may find that as you begin this process, certain emotions rise to the surface: sadness, anger, fear. These are natural responses. The mind clings to what is familiar even when it hurts. But do not mistake these emotions for signs that you should hold on. Instead, see them as part of the healing process. Feel them, acknowledge them, and then release them. Forgiveness plays a powerful role in letting go, not just forgiving others, but forgiving yourself for the things you didn't know, for the choices you made when you were still learning, for the times you stayed too long or walked away too soon, for every moment you have criticized yourself instead of offering compassion. You did the best you could with what you knew at the time. And now you are wiser, stronger, and more aware than ever before. There is freedom in release. When you let go of the past, you are not just walking away from what hurt you, you are walking towards something greater. You are stepping into clarity, into strength, into a version of yourself that is no longer weighed down by yesterday's pain. It is time to shift your focus from what was to what can be. The past is unchangeable, but the future is wide open. You have the power to create something new, something beautiful. You have the ability to fill your life with joy, with love, with peace. But it starts with a choice. The choice to no longer be defined by the old stories. The choice to rewrite the narrative. The choice to believe that what is coming is far greater than what has been. So take a deep breath and release it. Release the anger, the sadness, the resentment. Release the need for closure from those who will never give it. Release the idea that your past determines your worth. It does not. You are more than your past. You are a person of infinite possibility, capable of transformation, of healing, of growth. The road ahead is waiting for you, but you must be willing to take the first step. Letting go is not a one-time act, it is a practice. Some days will be easier than others. Some memories may try to pull you back. But each time you choose to focus on the present, each time you remind yourself that your future is more important than your past, you are reclaiming your power. One day you will look back and realize that everything happened exactly as it needed to, that every experience, even the painful ones, brought you wisdom, that every ending led to a new beginning, that by letting go you did not lose anything, you gained everything. And in that moment you will smile, not because you have forgotten the past, but because you have finally made peace with it. And peace, dear one, is the greatest gift you can ever give yourself.